Who want a ticket straight to them pearly gates?
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to be discussing a very popular character, so I am told. I say a lot of things about Xiaoyu, and everyone in the comments is very quick to correct me. When I talk about the base roster for Tekken 8, I said before in the past that she will not be on the Tekken 8 base roster. I don't feel like she's played enough. I don't feel like she's popular enough. And every time I say that, people were in the comment section saying, no, you don't know what you're talking about. You're wrong. And I'm happy that we're going to be talking about Xiaoyu today. If you go to the Tekken lore playlist, you can see all the characters that I previously covered, and also you'll run across some other interesting ideas and concepts in that Tekken lore playlist. I broke down comic books, I broke down Angel's story, Jun Kazama, Bruce. There's a lot of stuff in there. If you want to catch up, check out the Tekken lore playlist. In these videos, I give you guys the opportunity to decide which character I do next. Comment which character you want me to cover, and whichever character comment has the most likes is the character I'll talk about next. Now this one was close. I have a comment here with Law that has 4 likes on it. I have another comment here with Asuka Kazama. This one also has 4 likes. But then, out of nowhere, still want Ling Xiaoyu. 5 likes on this, and there was also another comment on the past video requesting Ling Xiaoyu. So 7 votes for Ling Xiaoyu. That is what we're going to be discussing today. Comment down below which character you want me to do next. I know Wang is a big one. I know Law is a big one. Asuka. Comment whichever character you want me to cover next. Whichever one has the most likes, I will cover. Now, let's jump into the story. We're going to start with Tekken 3. We're going to work our way all the way up to Tekken 7. And then I want to talk about Tekken 8 and where that possibly can go. Because the Tekken 7 ending, that Tekken 7 ending for Xiaoyu raised some red flags for me. And I want to talk about that. But Tekken 3, it says, cute, spirited, has panda, will travel. This young girl loves amusement and theme parks. Her dream is to build the perfect amusement park in China when she grows up. I don't know why, but that first paragraph sounds like a Tinder profile. It does not sound like a character story. It's so weird the way the game views male characters versus female characters. It's so weird. Male characters, they're like these, oh yeah, this guy's really cool, and you know, he's like an action hero and he does all these crazy things. But then the girl story, it's like, oh yeah, she's cute. It's like, I don't know. The more I do this, the more I see the difference between male and female in the Tekken universe. But let's continue. She is both young and small in stature.
Stop it. Get some help.
But Xiaoyu is skilled martial arts expert. Many believe if she was more serious, she could achieve real greatness. Having learned that the Mishima state is rich and powerful, she seeks out Heihachi to make her dream a reality. While vacationing in Hong Kong with her family, Xiaoyu stowed away on a yacht bearing the name Mishima Financial Empire. Heihachi was not on board, but Mishima men discovered her soon after the ship left the port, and Heihachi was informed immediately. Upon his arrival, Heihachi found his men beaten and strewn around the ship as if it was hit by a hurricane. She threatened that she would go berserk again if he did not accept her challenge. Roaring with laughter, he promised to build the amusement park of her dream if she wins the tournament. So this Tekken 3 story is kind of childish. It's just weird how like a random kid can get on the boat and then be face to face with Heihachi. Is then Heihachi says, okay, random little girl from who knows where, if you want your amusement park, join in this King of the Iron Fist tournament. What is this?
Stop it. Get some help.
I don't know. Let's continue reading. This takes place Tekken 4. Xiaoyu was a junior at Mishima High School. She still lived, studied, and trained as a ward of the Mishima Daibatu. But lacking any particular goals, Xiaoyu grew tired of her everyday routines. However, one day she received an ominous email that warned her of Heihachi's evil intentions and the dangers to her life. Xiaoyu replied to the email, but she did not receive any further messages from the anonymous individual. Xiaoyu's intuition told her that Jin Kazama, who had been missing since the last tournament, could have sent that message. She believed the message and started to suspect Heihachi and the Mishima Zaibatsu. Upon hearing the announcement of the next tournament, Xiaoyu made the decision to enter the tournament, hoping to reunite with Jin and unravel the truth behind Heihachi and the Mishima Zaibatsu. Okay, so I'm guessing that probably was Jin. I don't see who else would, one, send her an email, and then two, have this information, this inside information about the Mishima Zaibatsu. So I still just think it's kind of weird how like this is just a random kid. Like even for Lily was a part of like a powerful family who was like, you know, oil fields, you know, they kind of got this money, they're rich. But Xiaoyu, she really is just like a normal random girl who knows how to fight. And it's as if she's almost being forced to be a part of the story. Let's continue reading. Tekken 5. Xiaoyu cried when she heard Heihachi had been killed. In her sorrow, she wished she could go back in time. One day, Xiaoyu met a self-proclaimed genius who boasted that he could invent a time machine. If only he had the money to fund the invention, Xiaoyu decided to enter the tournament. Wow. This is kind of all over the place. So in Tekken 3, she wanted an amusement park from Heihachi. And in Tekken 4, she somehow was in the Mishima Zaibatsu school, but then she was suspicious that Heihachi was this villain and this monster, and she wanted to do more research. But in Tekken 5, she finds out that he dies, and she wants to travel back in time to save him. This is absurd. I have to say, it feels like they're just doing whatever they want with the character. There is no like overarching story. Like what I loved about Armor King and Marduk, their story was progressing, their rivalry. Same thing with Lily. Her rivalry, her story progressed. It was like a narrative. This one, it feels like each game she is just assigned with some random thing. Okay, you want an amusement park. Okay, now you're in high school. Okay, now you're trying to travel back in time? Oh my god. Let's look at the official version. This one is a lot bigger. There's a lot more to break down in here. So maybe, who knows, maybe this one gives us more detail as to what happened. Xiaoyu is a high school student who is on a personal mission to save the Mishima family. In the previous tournament, Xiaoyu was saved from the evil plans of Heihachi by Yoshimitsu, who taught her the history of the Mishima family. Hearing this, Xiaoyu began to believe the root of the misfortune surrounding the Mishima started with Heihachi's cruel upbringing of Kazuya. Wow. I'm intrigued. So Yoshimitsu originally saved Xiaoyu from Heihachi, but she still has some sort of sympathy or empathy for Heihachi and Kazuya. But it says, when Xiaoyu heard the death of Heihachi, a tear came out of her eye. If only I could turn back time, Xiaoyu said with a hint of sadness and regret. I don't know what she's regretting, but she regrets maybe just not acting quick enough. Who knows? Later, Xiaoyu happened to meet a brilliant scientist who claims that he can make a time machine as long as he gets funding for development. Under the condition that she will be the first to use the machine, Xiaoyu pulls out the wildest scraps of paper in her pocket, an invitation from the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. So I don't know who this random scientist is, but that is like manipulation if I ever seen it. You find this little kid who's really good at fighting. She's a prodigy or whatever. And you're like, hey, if you win the tournament, I'm going to build a time machine. You're going to travel back in time. We're going to get your amusement park. We're going to bring your friend Heihachi back to life. We're going to do all these great things. But in reality, that scientist would probably travel back in time and just do, mad scientist things. I don't know if it's just me who see like these dark messages in the lines of these narratives. Like with Lily, her story, I saw some dark stuff in there that really kind of opened my eyes and was like, wow, this is darker than it seems. But at the start of Tekken 6, Ling Xiaoyu breathed a sign of relief when she heard Heihachi had not truly died. However, as the head of the Mishima Zaibatsu, Jin aimed to take Heihachi's life. Xiaoyu was going to try and stop Jin herself, but the Zaibatsu pushed toward militarization, making it difficult to approach Jin. The Mishima Zaibatsu declaration of war drew hospitality from around the globe. When the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6 is announced, Ling Xiaoyu enters in the hopes that she can save Jin's soul from evil. Now, in these later, I want to say, games, this is when they really start to wrap her story with Jin's. Now we're on Tekken 7. This one is what really had me interested and what made me want to cover it, because I seen the ending. The ending with Claudio, that is something I want to see play out in Tekken 8. Because before we talk about this Tekken 7 story for Xiaoyu, my hopes and expectations and beliefs for Claudio is that he will go on to do some crazy things. We know that he was sort of forced to work with Heihachi and he was beaten up by Heihachi, but we also know he is an exorcist. He can, defeat the devil. And also I was talking about a lot, if Zafina was to team up with him, you can really have a dangerous team here. And from the looks of the ending, it looks like we may see something like that emerge, but who knows. It says, Ling Xiaoyu infiltrated the Mishima Zaibatsu building in search of information related to Jin Kazama's disappearance. Creeping deeper into the enemy territory under the guard noses, she eventually hears Heihachi Mishima's voice coming from a room. He is giving orders about locating Jin. Just as Xiaoyu is about to sneak in the room, a man dressed in all white emerges and pushes her back. Take me to Jin, Xiaoyu demands, unflinching. The man stands there for a moment before ordering Xiaoyu to follow him. He leads her to the roof, then silently turns towards her and readies himself to fight. Xiaoyu takes up her fighting stance and says, so that's how it is. If you think I'm some little girl, you're sadly mistaken. In her ending, where she defeats Claudio will help her with whatever her plan is. But you can see in the video, Claudio kind of has this evil smirk on his face, like he's planning something devious. Now, we don't know how this all plays out. I believe this is taking place, of course, before Heihachi dies. So by the time Tekken 8 starts, whatever Xiaoyu and Claudio are doing would already be in effect. Something that's very interesting about this as well. At the end of Tekken 7, you have Lars, you have Lei, and you have Alyssa, all with Jin. I believe Nina's there too, but I don't know. But what's important, Xiaoyu is not there with them at the end. Xiaoyu is off maybe with Claudio doing whatever they're doing. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Claudio is planning. I want to look at his story and see what he's planning, but that's up for you guys to decide. In Tekken 8, I think Claudio's going to be very important. I hope they actually give Xiaoyu some purpose. It looks like they're doing that in this Tekken 7 story. They're trying to push her in a more narrative, streamlined goal, right? Not just each game she's doing something random. Now she's kind of like on a path, and I'm interested to see where that goes for a lot of characters. But that's going to be it. Like I say, comment which character you want me to cover next. Whichever comment has the most likes is the one I will do a video about next. That's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.